I think the success of the Marvel films comes from the fact that they're made by fans. They really love those characters. When I first came out dressed as Vision, Kevin Feige nearly cried. Actors can be many things: vain, venal, self-serving, obnoxious, bullies, but all of the good ones are great storytellers. I'm never late, and I love that. Because when you've got 3 kids and a life to be living, and somebody's half an hour late to set, you start to get a little bit like, come on, let's get this done. In marriage, there's a lot of ignoring each other, which is hard to fake on screen. For some ungodly reason, I end up being naked in a lot of stuff. But there is a certain grace and kudos that come with taking your clothes off on the first day, a respect that is given by the rest of the cast. The fact that in America bread lasts so long. You buy bread, and then it's bread forever, it's forever bread. I find parties difficult. I like a dinner party, but I find being at parties difficult, so I choose not to go to parties. But I feel truly wowed by the architecture and the meaning of the architecture. If you get lost in it and think about the man-hours in the smallest little chapel and the love involved. God, it's fantastic. I'm an immigrant. I've got to be in the city, London, Vienna, or Rome, but always a city. Film used to have to be niche and find its audience in a little art house. Cinema and TV had to work for everybody. And now it's kind of flipped, where there's so many platforms that TV can be incredibly niche. You can end up living your life pretty incrementally, and that's boring. The difficulty of looking at a system like natural selection, if you have any sort of moral sense yourself, is almost what makes it beautiful. I feel safe in saying this, and that is that Peter Weir is without a doubt one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. I'd open a door in a movie for him if he asked me to. In America, they shoot budgets and schedules, and they don't shoot films anymore. There's more opportunity in Europe to make films that at least have a purity of intent. It's weird, because usually if you're British and you go to America you play baddies, but I play naughty people here and goodies in America. The only thing I think I can be accused of about paparazzi is being really naive. I didn't think about it coming along with the job, and I never, during my 3 years at drama school, fantasized about one bit of it. The trouble with talking about acting is that it's like sex. It's enormously fun to do, but just dreadfully embarrassing when you have to talk about it. Up until like 5 seconds ago, I just took what jobs came along. I was born a Catholic, and now I'm a lapsed Catholic. I'm something, but I'm not a believer anymore. I think when you're trying to produce a relationship on screen that doesn't actually exist, perhaps sometimes there's a temptation to look at each other more, to touch each other more. For a while, I stopped enjoying making movies and I stopped enjoying acting, because I made a few decisions that I wish I hadn't made. So the actual privilege is that you can then take time off, and if you don't, you're a fool. You're earning all this money to support children whom you then don't see which is absurd. I'm sure some people have an absolute grasp of where they are in their careers. I just don't think about it that much. I still read the British papers, but I've never been a royalist, ever. It's funny, there always seems to be much more of a fascination with the royal family over here than there does in England. Yeah, I love history and I loved it as a kid. I got a phone call from Jon Favreau saying, "I need the voice of a personality-less robot, and I thought of you immediately." I thought that was the funniest thing I ever heard, so I said, yes. My relationship with Star Wars is that I'm old enough that I saw it when it first came out, A New Hope, that is, and it was like when Dorothy steps out of black and white into Technicolor. I was transported from a gray, miserable 1970s London into a different galaxy, and I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to be a part of it. I resist the idea of there being on-screen chemistry. I think it's something that people like to say without thinking. I did 8 months of training for Wimbledon, and then, by the time I finished the movie another 4 months later, I was like, that's me. I'm done with tennis. I've noticed, in the ebbs and flows of success and popularity, so much of it is fraudulent and to be distrusted. We all have different thresholds for sentimentality. For me, it's a hard-won happy ending. Trying to be a good actor has to be involved with placing yourself imaginatively in different people's circumstances. You can fudge a lot as an actor, but you can't fudge being a parent. No one I know works in the industry. No, that's not true, Liv Tyler. I know great actors whom nothing has ever happened for. I don't enjoy watching action films, but I loved films like Rust and Bone and The Beat That My Heart Skipped. Sure, you can do something frothy and ridiculous, but you should probably be confident that it's going to be a surefire hit. Then it's sensible, because it enables you to make smaller movies. But if you make something frothy and ridiculous that doesn't work, it's not worth it. I was bullied about everything, from the way I looked to the fact that my father had been a dancer. There are lots of people that make movies. It's not just the director. I loved working with Peter Weir. I think he's one of the greats and will be remembered as one of the greats. Paul is an awful name. I might as well be Bob.